Come see us live on tour. We'll be in Los Angeles, Dallas, Texas, Austin, Baltimore, Hartford, Syracuse, Atlantic City, Cohoes, New York, and Providence, Rhode Island. Go to jimmydore.com for a link for tickets. So they're doing it over at there's Davos. So all the people who actually run the world are in Davos again. And Ezra Levant goes there and asks them questions. It's beautiful. Remember last year he got in the Pfizer CEO's face and was asking them questions.
Oh, right.
And of course, they'll never answer a question. And Ezra Levant does these kind of things. And it's oh no, I'm blanking on the name of his news organization. Could you look it up?
Yes.
Rebel News. It's right there. It's Rebel News. That's it. And so they're on the right side of a lot of issues. COVID was one of them. The truckers was another. We disagree on other things like Gaza and things, but I think we could have. But I appreciate his work here for sure. He says, we caught Larry Fink, the CEO of BlackRock, on the streets of Davos. We grilled him for 9 minutes, and his bodyguards tried to push us away. Fink panicked and started taking photos of our faces. A bizarre attempt to threaten us. Look, Larry Fink has the roles mixed up. He's the one who's supposed to be hiding from the public. The reporters want those photos taken.
Yeah.
They want to be seen. That's why they brought cameras with them. That's why the reporters want to have pictures taken with them grilling you.
Well, I mean, it's probably didn't what's his name, Pete Judy Butt, do this to somebody? Take pictures
yes, he did that. Yes, Pete Buttigieg did that too.
Yeah.
So let's watch. This is 9 minutes long. This is great. So let's enjoy this.
Mr. Fink, are you going to follow Donald Trump's plan and get rid of DEI and ESG in your companies?
Now, the reason he brings that up is because Larry Fink. Well, let me play it for you real fast.
You now make a point of that's an investment criteria for you.
Well, behaviors.
That's an investment criteria that a company has to show they have a good ESG and a good DEI score. And if that's why companies have pushed DEI and ESG so hard. Why? Because the people who own all the capital in the world, which is BlackRock, Vanguard, and State Street, they won't invest in your company. They'll make it more expensive for you to get loans.
They'll collude, if you will. So how's that legal?
So they're forcing this on. That's why every corporation in the world did this stuff mindlessly, because it became expensive to not do it. And who made it expensive to not do it? People like Larry Fink. And how do I know? Well, watch this.
You now make a point of that's an investment criteria for you.
Well, behaviors are going to have to change, and this is one thing we're asking companies. You have to force behaviors, and at BlackRock we are forcing behaviors. 54% of the incoming class are women. We added 4 more points in terms of diverse employment this year, and what we're doing internally is if you don't achieve these levels of impact, your compensation could be impacted. Okay,
we're doing the same thing.
And so it's
your compensation could be impacted. Okay,
yeah,
you get it. Your compensation is going to be impacted if you don't do what we say.
Yeah. And I like how he's like, we brought women because it's easier to force changes on them.
Yeah.
You have to force behaviors. If you don't force behaviors, whether it's gender or race or just any way you want to say the composition of your team, you're going to be impacted. And that's not recruiting, it is development, as Ken said. And ultimately, it's still going to take time, but I am just as much shocked as Ken is that we have not seen more opportunities. And we're going to have to force change.
He can't stop saying
President
it.
Fink.
He can't stop saying it. So that's the president of the world.
Yeah.
That's not the president.
President
Fink says we're going to force behaviors. And how do we do it? Well, you'll have to pay a higher interest rate for a loan. We won't invest in your company. Your compensation will be impacted personally. All that stuff. That's what he's saying. So
that's what happened. So that's what happened. Right after Occupy Wall Street, this motherless is the guy who came up. Yeah, they're right. These kids. We do need some changes around here. Not of us.
So
we're just going to be in charge of everything.
So he didn't replace himself.
He
didn't replace himself with a woman or somebody of color or an LGBTQ person.
No, he'll still be President Fink.
He's still President Fink.
Yes.
And so again, after Occupy Wall Street, they figured out we got to push all this stuff to distract everybody from the fact that we're economically raping the planet and squashing workers. And so if we push DEI and ESG, it'll distract people and also divide people. So, and that's why the mentions of racism skyrocketed, even after we elected a black president twice.
Called predictive programming. It's to prime you to do certain things.
That's right.
To make you act like a child so that they can control it. They used to call it a nudge.
When we bring
and if you want to know, and BlackRock is directly involved in why we're in Ukraine and funding Ukraine, and you want to know, here's Bobby Kennedy to tell you.
When we bring a new nation into NATO, then the first part of that contract is that new nation has to conform its weapons purchases to NATO specifications, which means they have to buy their weapons from Northrop Grumman, General Dynamics, Raytheon, Lockheed Martin, and Boeing.
That's clever.
And all of those companies are owned by BlackRock. And BlackRock is, the big
So they're incentivized to expand NATO because the only way that they can increase their profits if they get more countries that have signed up.
Well, it's a whole market that they now have a trap market. They can only buy from them.
It's like Starbucks selling Frappuccinos. It's like you want Starbucks everywhere. And oh my God.
Every coffee shop should be a Starbucks.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
that's
we break into a new market.
There's also, it's a confluence of ideological and economic incentives.
So now Ezra Levant is
Mr. Fink
is gonna confront that guy. The guy who actually runs the world economically.
Fink.
Watch this.
Mr. Fink, are you going to follow Donald Trump's plan and get rid of DEI and ESG in your companies? BlackRock really is the opposite of Donald Trump in so many ways. You're authoritarian, you're anti-populist, you're top-down. Are you going to change it all in light of the U.S. presidency? How is Donald Trump, have you talked to Donald Trump since he was elected? Is the World Economic Forum a counterpoint to Donald Trump?
Look at all these cameras.
Why are you running away from simple questions? Just answer a question. Have you talked to President Trump yet? Why are your bodyguards pushing away journalists, Mr. Fink?
They're simple questions. Is it that hard to answer a question that you need bodyguards and to swerve through traffic? Is the next 4 years going to be bad for business with Donald Trump in charge? Is peace the last thing you want on this world?
Which makes more money for you, war in Ukraine or peace in Ukraine?
So there he is with his phone taking a picture of him.
Oh,
that's him. That's him trying to intimidate him.
Yeah.
That's him saying, you don't think I'm going to send the Mossad after you?
I bet a Ukrainian death list website's getting a new face.
You're going to be on a Ukrainian death wish.
Well, that's my name, Mr. Fink.
Did you just take a photo of you?
Am I supposed to be scared? Is that a threat, Mr. Fink?
Are you used to bullying your way through life?
No.
Is that how you've lived your entire life without having... Look at this.
When was the last
Don't
time
push
you-
back, mate. Don't push me, bro. Don't push me.
When was the last time you answered a question that you didn't know was coming? Why are you so unaccountable? Isn't that what you love about the World Economic Forum? You control everything.
Why do you think you deserve so much power? Hey,
He's doing it again.
Should I be scared now?
Which of your former directors do you want to run Canada? Mark Carney or Chrystia Freeland?
Don't push me, bro. What? What are you getting violent for, man? I could push just like you can, man.
Wait, who's pushing him? Fink?
No, it's bodyguard.
Look at these thugs. They fund wars around the world, and then you question them. They try not only to intimidate you.
So Ezra should bring an MMA fighter with him next time he does this. And then they just do one of those taekwondo deals where they put the scissor on his head and take him down.
Yeah.
Because the bodyguard's assaulting them.
Yeah. Well, they're diverse.
Yeah.
But physically assault you.
What's with taking photos of journalists who ask you prickly questions?
Who's more powerful, you or President Trump? Why do you think you're so disliked around the world?
Why are so many U.S. states divesting from your ESG schemes? Why are you putting your ideology ahead of your investors with ESG, Mr. Fink? Isn't that being disloyal to shareholders, putting your ideology ahead of rate of return? Why do you think you're above accountability? Is it because you're rich?
I just feel like walking with him now because his big scary bodyguards. And I don't know, Ezra.
Oh my God.
I just want to make it clear I will not kill myself.
I have no suicidal thoughts either. Mr. Fink's taking pictures of me and Abiy Yamini. I think that's meant to intimidate. It's a little weird, though. It feels a little thin-skinned. Do you think you're above questions? Like, why don't you even answer? Surely you have the answers. Why do you think BlackRock has become so hated, one of the world's most reviled brands? Do you take any responsibility for that? Who do you feel accountable to? It's obviously not shareholders. Do you have a God complex?
Was Biden the best thing for you? And did you fail by not being able to get another Democrat president?
Why don't you run for public office and test the support for your ideological ideas?
Now, I can't believe I'm not there. Yeah. I remember last year when they confronted Borla, the head of Pfizer, and I was like, oh my God, I got to make sure I'm there next year. And I missed it. I can't freaking believe I missed it.
Were you invited? Because
no, they're not invited either.
I'll bet you that what's his name? Word got around that you are Putin's puppet.
You are Putin's body.
Body. Putin's body. I'm his body. What are you saying?
You are his body.
Is this the most uncomfortable you've ever felt? Do you think this is okay? You're a security guard, a thug. Sure, obviously you do. You took my photo because you're hoping he'll catch up with me later. Is that supposed to scare me?
Have your bodyguards learned from you to disrespect the little people? Is that how you feel about the little people, Mr. Fink?
Are you not worried because you own the local police?
What politicians have you had meetings with, or is that a secret? Why don't you publish your itinerary? Is it because you're doing lobbying or being lobbied?
Do you think this makes BlackRock look better or worse? The fact that you've got hired thugs pushing journalists into cars, into buildings. Is that just typical? Is that the way you do business?
Down here. Down here? Oh, I didn't have the card.
Doesn't it look a little bit weird that someone as rich, powerful, and smart as you can't answer any questions?
Cameraman's gonna fall.
Or is it that you just think you're above questions?
That's karma.
Your security guard called that karma.
He says that's karma.
Is that how you feel?
What's the end game for you? You're rich, you're powerful. What's next for you?
What's next? What is next?
Do you want to run for president one day? Or do you have bigger goals? Don't push me on the ice. You don't want a lawsuit now, do you?
Do you think there's no point in running for office because you can control them? You can control both sides from outside. Why are you pushing ladies? Mate, where are you from? Why are you such a thug? What What are you so angry about in life? Did somebody hurt you as a kid? Who are we going to meet tonight for dinner?
Run away. Run away.
There you go. Well, I reckon that pretty much demonstrates exactly what BlackRock is about.
That weird move. I mean, he's got two bodyguards who are really handsy. There was no punches, but there was lots of pushing. The move by Fink himself to take photos of us, that's weird.
Weird.
I'm not suicidal.
Definitely not suicidal. I feel like let's walk the other way.
You know, normally masters of the universe don't tread on the ground like us commoners. They have vehicles drive them around Davos. But he made the mistake of walking down the street, and I think that's the first time he's been asked unscripted questions ever.
And how angry did he get? First trying to whiz through traffic, which was everything about his behavior was so bizarre. The only thing that seemed to actually come really natural to him was having people do his dirty work.
Yeah. You know, there's some very, very important people at Davos. I mean, John Kerry is an example.
Trump.
I bumped into Tony Blair last year. There are some very powerful people. At most, they have sort of one assistant. There's no need for bodyguards in this town. There's armed Swiss security everywhere. But to have two thugs to push and shove, I think that shows the mindset of Larry Fink himself. And taking pictures of us, I'm happy to tell him my name. My name is Ezra Levant, and I ask questions about BlackRock.
And I'm Avi Yamini, and I'll also ask questions no matter who you have near you. And it's exactly why we're here, wefreports.com. Check out all our...
Okay, so...
Good work, guys, but Israel would have killed you if you did that.
Yeah.
He was kind of nice compared to your boys in Israel, wasn't he? They shoot you for that in Israel.
But
good work.
Good work. I'll join with anyone to do good and no one to do wrong. And what is that? Why can I never remember the quote? Do you remember it, Misha?
I'll join with anyone to do good and with no one to do wrong, right?
Is that it? I'll join with anybody to do good and nobody to do wrong.
Do bad?
Is it bad or wrong? See, nobody's. Why is no? It's wrong.
Fool me twice. You just can't fool me twice.
Fool me once. Oh, it's right and wrong. I'll join with anybody to do right and with nobody to do wrong. There you go. You can fool me. You fool me once. Shame on.
Shame on you.
Shame on.
Think you fooled again.
Shame on you. Fool me twice. We can't get fooled again. That's the whole point.
He quoted the Who at the end. He couldn't remember.
Come see us live on tour. We'll be in Los Angeles, Dallas, Texas, Austin, Baltimore, Hartford, Syracuse, Atlantic City, Cohoes, New York, and Providence, Rhode Island. Go to jimmydore.com for a link for tickets.